First and foremost, shout out to Damian Lillard and James Harden for the content these past couple days. They've already made free agency in the NBA. Really, really interesting. If you haven't heard yet, Damian Lillard requested a trade earlier today with the preference of going to Miami. Now, I'll be honest, I don't have any fake trades for you. Not quite yet. I will later on my Substack, so make sure you check out the link below for those. Damian Lillard wants to go to Miami, and Miami fans are excited about this. But Miami doesn't have anything that Portland wants, okay? Miami doesn't have a ton of picks, and even if they did, you don't want Miami's picks. You know why? Because Miami's good every year without Damian Lillard. Now they're going to add Damian Lillard to their team, and they're going to be really good. You can make an argument that they're going to be the best team in the East if they add Damian Lillard. Now, they've obviously lost a couple other pieces, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, but I think we all have faith in the Miami Heat to replenish and find guys that nobody's heard of that contribute, right? So I'll be honest, I don't know if Damian Lillard ends up in Miami unless Portland really loves him and they want to send him off. But I'll be honest, that is the last thing Portland should do. Okay, as much as they love Dame, you have to put yourself first in situations like these when the guy doesn't want to play for you anymore. Does part of you want to honor their request to leave? Like, yes, of course. You want to send him to a contender. But you still need to make sure that you get something back in return that's at least worth half of what he's worth. And so now the answer is Philly. It's like, well, Jonathan, Philly doesn't have much of anything that the Trailblazers want either, right? Like, their best young guy is Tyrese Maxey, another guard. They don't need another guard. It's the same thing with Miami. Miami's best young player, not named Bam Adebayo, who they're not going to move, is Tyler Hero. And the last thing that the Trailblazers need is another guard. Sure, they have the Nikola Jovic guy, but he didn't play a ton last year. He's not really worth a ton. But Philly, on the other hand, there's some potential stuff there because James Harden wants to be moved. Now, look, James Harden for Damian Lillard, not what the Trailblazers want to do. So they're going to have to bring in a third team, probably the Clippers, because that's where James Harden wants to go. Because the Clippers have, Terrence Mann. They have a little bit more leeway in terms of things that they can give up in terms of draft capital and things like that, different picks. Philly has a lot of picks. So it's going to be a lot of picks and pick swaps as James Harden probably ends up with the Clippers and Damian Lillard then ends up in Philly. I could see a legit scenario for that to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if the Mavericks got involved. If they wanted to switch out Kyrie, send him, to Portland, and then Dame goes to Dallas, and then Kyrie ends up with the Clippers somehow. I could see something like that happening. But ultimately, what I'm saying here is I will be absolutely shocked if Damian Lillard ends up playing in a Miami Heat jersey next year, because ultimately, as I've already said, the Heat do not have what the Trailblazers want in order to make that happen. And when we look at the Clippers, there's nothing really in Miami that they would want either. I don't know if they would want to send a whole bunch of picks and stuff to Portland. Dame ends up in Miami for Tyler Hero to end up with the Clippers. I don't really see anything like that happening. So ultimately, because of a lack of young assets that the Miami Heat are willing to give up, I don't think they're going to be able to land Damian Lillard. They just don't have really what anybody is looking for outside of Bam Adebayo, and he is untouchable. They are not moving him under any circumstance. So, Damian Lillard, probably going to end up in Philly, if I had to guess where he's going to end up. I know Knicks fans have been saying that they want him. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Him and Brunson together, that means bad defense. You don't want that, Knicks fans. You're in a good spot. Wait a little bit longer. Wait for some kind of wing to come available, like Joel Embiid, if all this stuff ends up falling through. So, I guess he's a center, not a wing. But you know what I mean. They need to wait for either a wing or a big guy in New York in order to make things happen. Now, the other destination would be Brooklyn. Okay, Damian Lillard could end up in Brooklyn as well. Brooklyn has a ton of picks that they can send to the Trailblazers. They have the Suns picks, and they have their own. They have a ton of pick swaps that they could send to Portland for Damian Lillard. Maybe like Cam Johnson, Spencer Dinwiddie, something like that, like a couple of other guys just to kind of fill the salary stuff there. They can pair Damian Lillard with Mikal Bridges. Damian Lillard has said that he'd be open to going to Brooklyn. So that is more of a legit option than Miami. So That being said, I think the most likely thing to happen is we see Damian Lillard playing alongside Joel Embiid next year. We see James Harden move to the Clippers kind of through that trade, or we see him end up in Brooklyn playing alongside Mikal Bridges and all of the wings that the Brooklyn Nets have. I think those are our two most likely options. I doubt any team in the West makes a trade for him. I'd be really shocked by that as well. That's going to do it for this video. Drop a like on it. Comment below, where do you think Damian Lillard ends up? What do you think he's worth? What would you give up if you're Miami? Is there anything that I miss? Is there anything that the Trailblazers may want that Miami has? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe. We're covering everything NBA free agency, and then eventually we'll get into some football stuff when the fall gets here. We got a lot of stuff coming here on Shooting the Schmidt. Hope you subscribe so you can catch all of it. Make sure as well to check out the Substack linked below. Got some James Harden trades on there. Launched the 1%, which is just the top 1% of NBA basketball players ever. And I'm going to have some Damian Lillard fake trades up on there later tonight. So thank you again for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to y'all again later.